mulher pode não saber que tem, mas ela carrega, ela tem uma Pomba Gira com ela. Se a mulher tem Pomba Gira, ela fica mais piranha, fica mais assanhada. Eu acho que depois de porta fechada, tudo é válido. Só que não interessa a ninguém lá fora, né? É uma coisa que fica pro casal. Olha, o homem sempre mandou na mulher, né? E os Exu mesma coisa, todo mundo merece. Da banheira, entendeu? Muito gostoso. Tem que fazer geral, a gente consegue prender mais homem. Através de feitiço que a gente prende homem. Eu rolo posição pra lá, rolo pra cá, mexe, pá, posição pra lá, posição pra cá. As minhas colegas mesmo falam, eu não sei como você consegue tanto homem sozinho. Pomba Gira realmente de frente, não para o corpo não. Ela já dá um brilho.
Caminhando a pé para ver se encontrava a minha cigana de fé.
www.hoodmystic.com. Leave your ego at the door.
Some consider her a whore, slut, prostitute, or even a devil woman. For others, she is a goddess of love, success, and abundance. Her name is Pomba Gira, and she has the path to love and desire. Today, we'll be discussing how to access that path and how to inflame your desire. In this series, in studying the Dark Goddess, we will search for a more practical way outside of the spookism, outside of the scare tactics, in a way to interface with the dark goddesses in a practical way. Today we'll be talking about path working and love. The word Kimbanda is loosely translated as healer or shaman, which refers to one who communicates with the beyond. It's a spiritual system that combines elements of necromancy as well as Congo religious traditions, Amazonian indigenous native beliefs, European spiritualism, as well as the Jewish Kabbalistic pathworking system. Today we'll be discussing the pathworking system. The rituals of Kimbanda are designed to give you control over your destiny, life, empower you spiritually, as well as rebirth you within spiritual grace. Kimbanda is ruled by two main deities, one being Ishu and the other being Pomba Gira. Maria Padilla could also be used interchangeably with Pomba Gira, but this conversation will be focused on Pomba Gira. Ishu represents the masculine spiritual side of Kimbanda, while Pomba Gira represents the feminine spiritual side. Together, they rule the 7 lesser Kimbanda kingdoms. We'll discuss these and how to utilize them in the realms of pathworking. Pomba Giras are a group of deities that are associated with specific spiritual tasks with the assignment to spiritually assist mankind. Pomba Gira represents feminine beauty, sexuality, and desire. Pomba Gira is personified as a beautiful and desirable woman. She is worshipped with great respect based upon her dark African skin, which can also be seen as wrathful. She is sought after for matters of the heart and love. She is invoked at the crossroads, hence the name, the deity of the crossroads. T-Roads, aka Dead Ends, and she's also known as the Empress of the 7 planets. When you integrate Ishu and Pomba Gira, that represents a balance of body, mind, and soul. The places and spaces and times where Pomba Gira can be invoked are depending on your needs. So we're going to go through 7 realms of the Pomba kingdom, and these 7 realms represents the crossroads, crossings, forests, cemeteries, ancestral realms, human sexuality, and oceans. Where most just simply focus primarily on the sexual aspects of Pomba Gira, today we'll focus more on the diverse spiritual system of how to work with Pomba Gira to enact love and attraction at a high level without the mental distortions. Now, even though she does bring eroticism and sexual pleasure into your lives, Pomba Gira is just not limited to sexual encounters. There is a whole spiritual system known to invoke Pomba Gira, and this is what we'll discuss in this build. Working with Pomba Gira in the Kimbanda is best done through path working. Path working is a divination system based on incremental understandings, simply based on your effort and efficiency in doing the correct things within the proper space and time. The issue with this is when you have a desire, you do not attempt to provide spiritual foundation for your desire to come to life. You just want what you want. So if this is the case, path working is not for you. If you are interested in the steps that it takes to manifest quickly and successfully, please continue to listen. The basis of this path working is that Pomba Gira can be realized in specific spaces, in specific times, and only with the correct intention. When you match the intention with the space and the time and progress through the path working, you will notice that you will manifest things at a highly successful level. The crossroads represent the origin of sacred. It is where all elemental forces meet and integrate into the spiritual. Ultimately, the crossroads represent a choice of direction. Working with Pomba Gira, make sure that you know the difference between love, marriage, and sex. Love can come from a puppy, marriages can be stressful and ultimately end in divorce, and sex could be ultimately unfulfilling. Learning how to walk through the entire process of divination is advised. Once you meet at the crossroads, you are ready for the crossing, and this is called the road opener or opening the road. The realm of crossing should be better understood as uncrossing, making sure no malevolent spirits are attached to you, and making sure that the success of any spiritual endeavor is achieved. Once you perform the road opening at the crossroads, it is most important to uncross from negative energies. Whether placed on you by a spiteful peer or obtained through your own karma and negativity, a cross condition must be undone. Uncrossing is essentially replacing negative energy with positive energy. The next step is to enter into the wilderness or the realm of the ancestors. The forest and the field symbolically represent ancient burial grounds and are a way for those who seek connection with ancestors to connect with ancestors. After opening the way for love, uncrossing all negative energy, we connect to nature and the ancestors for energy. We connect to nature to connect to the abundance and to the will to bring what we desire into full manifestation. Another place where you can reach Pomba Gira is the cemeteries. And although they get a bad rep, cemeteries represent space and time as how they regards to ancestral connections. Pomba Gira is easily accessed in the cemetery, especially when requesting emotional and spiritual well-being. For all matters of the heart, all matters of love, there has to be an emotional and spiritual well-being, or else it turns into a toxic relationship. Part of sensual love is high vibrations, and once you establish high vibrations within yourself, it is much easier to attract the love that you have. So it's important to rid yourself of all depression, sickness, and feelings of hopelessness first before you enter into the realms of love. Pomba Gira will help you banish these negative vibrations, especially if you're focused on path working. The issue with path working is that you start with a base understanding and you work your way to a realization. Understanding that path working is exactly what it says, working the path. The realm of the dead is not always the cemetery. The realm of the dead could be forests, could be cemeteries, but they're also ancient mounds, hills, and mountains that contain the bones of the ancestors. An ancient cemetery or burial ground is different from a modern cemetery based on its intention. The ancestors buried the transition with particular intentions and to continue the communication with those who continue to live on this realm. The ancestral realm is there to communicate and be informed telepathically of your path. Part of this spiritual journey is to be connected to a source. So when you enter into the realms of love, if you're not connected to a source, then you're not particularly connected to a soulmate or somebody who is equally yoked. So the understanding is to have foundational work of purification, communication, and integration. And once this is established, we're ready to move on to the material, erotic pleasures of life. So many times when people hear about Pomba Gira, they rush straight into this aspect of Pomba Gira. They never discuss the purification, communication, and integration and invocation of the deity. It's important to be grounded in spiritual matters in all realms so it can show that you're ready for such power and ready for such eroticism. This level of Pomba Gira ensures success in all risk of all realms, whether it's gambling, whether it's choosing a mate. They all entail a certain level of risk, and the spiritual connection that Pomba Gira provides gives us the security and insurance to take those risks. In all matters of lust and seduction, she is the primary, unquestioned ruler and winner of all psychological battles. The final embodiment of Pomba Gira is found in the ocean. Take a time to think. When a woman is sexually aroused, what does she secrete? Moisture. When the man has reached his peak sexual excitement, what seeps out of him? More moisture. To realize that this part of the world, whether it be oceans, rivers, lakes, they all speak to sexual desire in abundance. The water is where we speak to Pomba Gira in assistance in marriage and true love. Practitioners of Kimbanda and other Afro-Brazilian spirit-based religions do this because they want to develop the spirit. They want to establish an intimate relationship that's based upon mediated exchange. That's why offering cigarettes, alcohol, chocolate to Pomba Gira is a request to invoke her energy into your lives. Ultimately, if there are disruptive experiences in our lives, we could even those things out to become constructive things in our lives. In the return for offerings, Pomba Gira will intervene on your behalf in all affairs that matter in the human world. Anytime you have a ritual exchange between Pomba Gira and yourself, this is understood to generate various effects, and these effects can be very much of an increased attraction. So making sure that you're pure and making sure that you know exactly what you want is the perfect way to deal with Pomba Gira. Because if you're not sure what you want and you just deal with Pomba Gira without doing the path working, you will only attract what you are. So that's why it's important to do uncrossings. That's why it's important to do purifications before you get to deal with the love stuff. And I know that's probably not what you want to hear, but I'm telling you, when you work the path, when you rid yourself of negative energy, that attraction becomes that much stronger. Pomba Gira could be known as the holy harlot, and these tensions are made based upon the Christian mindset, which doesn't really exist. It is something that's been created as something to be as an opposite to the natural, ancestral Pomba Gira energy. So understand that human reflection and manipulation goes hand in hand when discussing this energy. And if you want to fall into the realms of spookism and scare tactics when discussing this energy, then you'll be just doing that towards yourself. Pomba Gira and other Afro-Brazilian spirit entities provide a set and a symbolic resource for ritual strategies for individuals who seek to empower themselves and the world around them. Understand that she is the one that can carry you through to the thresholds. If you lack love, she is the one who could give you an abundance of love if that is what you want. Before we end this video, I'm going to run through a quick little poem that references Pomba Gira and references the path working associated with her.
This shaketh, giveth thee peace of satiate lust. Immortality jetteth from my skull, and music from my vulva. Immortality jetteth from my vulva also, for my whoredom is a sweet scent, like a 7-string instrument, played unto God, the invisible, the all-ruler, that goeth along the shrill stream of orgasm.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pomba Gira, I'm the Hood Mystic. Be sure to visit me at www.hoodmystic.com. Be sure to purchase my new workbook, How to Read Natal Charts Effectively and Easily, available on Amazon now in workbook and Kindle form, if you don't want to get the workbook. Also, if you have any questions, any requests in regarding this topic or future topics, please feel free to email me at hoodmystic@gmail.com. This has been Pomba Gira, Path Working in Love. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to comment any questions. Be sure to comment anything in regarding to this. If you want to add to this conversation, if you want to take away from this conversation, please feel free. This is just an open dialogue, and I'm just expressing from the heart. So hopefully you receive it. Peace, and have a great day, night, evening, wherever this video finds you. Peace from me and my family.